Guilty Gear Strive. Teach me.
Right now, we're going to talk about the blood gauge for Nagoriyuki, so take it away, man, Fame 96.
No problem. So, the blood gauge is located on top of your super meter. So, by using specials, this will increase the blood gauge by various amounts. All the attacking specials, such as Spin, Clone, and DP, will fill a bar by about 90%, as shown down below. And then once it reaches the point where it finishes increases, it'll decrease gradually so long as you don't use another special. The teleport is the only exception, which fills the gauge by around 40 before it's starting to go down gradually. The way you need to drain the blood gauge is by using normals that utilize this big source, such as like Far Slash, 2S, 5H, 2H, 6H, all this stuff. All these normals will decrease the blood gauge by various amounts. So the S normals will decrease it by roughly a tenth, with the exception being the target combo. H normals decrease a chunk of the gauge by 50.
Okay.
The only exception to this is the target combo, which decreases the gauge by roughly a bar.
Okay.
On block, H normals will decrease the blood gauge by roughly a tenth, while the target combo will decrease the blood gauge by roughly 50. So in terms of how the increase and the decrease interact with each other, depending on what normal you put in front of your special, or whether or not you do the special first or the normal first, will determine how much the blood gauge will go up before going down. So let's say, for example, I do an H normal on hit into teleport. Whoops. Get hit for me.
Oh.
Notice how the blood gauge barely goes up before going down.
Mm-hmm.
This is because the H normal costs 50, while the teleport only really costs 40. So it'll only go up by like a very small percentage before going back down. And you'll basically be blood gauge positive. Now another example is, say I do spin and then save. Notice how it does not go up to 90,
Yeah.
but it still goes up by a sizable amount. This is because I did the special first before landing a normal. But if I were to say do normal spin into another normal, notice how very little the gauge goes up. That's because I stacked two heavy normals together along with the special, which forces the gauge to go down even faster.
Okay.
And then a more extreme example, which if you were coming from the other video, is if I say do this combo into super. I should blood rage here, but because this super drains 2 bars of blood, it can offset that cost a bit. It'll go up to around 2.5, and then you'll get back down to 1.5. So generally, when you're structuring your combos, you need to keep in mind how far the blood gauge will go up before going down. This is the same with, say, if you're doing a pressure sequence. Block for me. So they got hit by that last sequence. With that in mind, I only went up to about 1.5 before it started going back down. So be sure to lab how you go about your combos and your offense. See how much it goes up when you actually hit them, see how much it goes up when they don't get hit. The difference is very important when you're playing Nago, so that you know what your limitations are.
Hmm. Cool. All right. Thank you very much for letting me know how to use the blood gauge.
Yeah, no problem. But that basically covers the blood gauge in its entirety, generally the important bits. So, if you are more curious about like exact numbers, the numbers are on this website called Dust Loop. The link can be in the description. But generally, if you're curious about those numbers, you can go check it out there.